Well, welcome back to State Polytechnic and our next Lightboard video. The previous 9 videos that I've done so far have been mostly about grammar and English language learning. Today I'd like to change our topic a little bit because we shouldn't just focus on grammar all the time. There are other aspects to learning a new language. And today I'd like to talk about that. This is just a very, very short video today, but I'd like to talk about second or third language acquisition. And of course, language acquisition means learning a new language. And I know some of you not only learning a second or third language, but some of you are even learning a fourth, fifth, or sixth language. So I think it's great when people can learn many different languages. So today I'd like to talk about language acquisition. And using the analogy of traveling, and now this type of traveling, I'm not talking about traveling in an airplane, but I'm talking about traveling on the ground. Traveling by either walking or using a motorcycle or in your car or in a bus or something like that. When we're traveling, maybe not in a bus, but maybe traveling by yourself, you on a bicycle or a motorbike or just walking, you need a map to help you to get to your destination, especially if it's on a very long journey. And language acquisition, language learning is a very long journey. It's a marathon. It's a long distance trip. And whenever you're learning a language, you need maps to help you to get to your destination. In other words, your destination is success in the new language you're trying to acquire. And you need maps to help you to find your way through the new language journey. And I'd like to talk about maps. And as you see, you have M.A.P.S.S. And these are important things you need to have as you are learning a new language. So let's take a look at this. The first thing you need in learning a new language is you need to have motivation. Motivation means an inner desire to learn this language. If you don't have that inner desire, if you don't have that motivation, it just won't happen. And I know I've had students sometimes in the past where they're mom and dad, who maybe are very rich, they send them to Canada to come and study English, and they were sort of forced there and they didn't really want to be here, and they didn't have motivation in the classroom even. And I could tell the students who were motivated and students who were not. And if you don't have that motivation, that inner desire to learn, it just won't happen. So you need to have motivation to learn a second language or a third language. Another important aspect in your language learning journey is attitude. You need to have a good attitude. And motivation and attitude go together. If you have a bad attitude, you'll not learn. And this is a very important component of language learning. My father-in-law was in Shanghai. And many years ago, the Japanese invaded Shanghai area, and eventually they controlled the schools and everything. So the children, my father-in-law, who is now in his 90s, was forced to try to learn Japanese. But because of all the cruel things that the Japanese were doing to the Chinese people, the children didn't have very good motivation to learn the language. And he wasn't able to because he didn't have the motivation, and he had bad experiences based upon what the Japanese people did to the Chinese people in Shanghai at that time. And that attitude just wasn't there. So you need to have a good attitude towards learning the language. The next thing, you need to have perseverance. Perseverance. As I gave the little picture previously, is that language learning is a marathon. And a marathon is 26 miles. It's a long distance run. And you can get exhausted and tired. You feel like giving up. Your body says, I don't want to do this anymore. But your mind has this push to push yourself on. And I've known people who have done a marathon. Someday I'd like to do one. I haven't done one yet. I've done a 10K, but I've never done a marathon. But you need perseverance to keep going when your body says, let's stop doing this. And the same thing's going to happen when you're learning a language. You're going to say, why am I doing this? I don't really feel like doing this. But you need to have that perseverance. Well, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to just press on. I'm going to keep going. And if you can press through that, you get your second win, and you'll get to success, and you get to the end of that marathon race. So you need to have perseverance in learning a new language. You also need to have skills. Language learning skills. And of course, the 4 skills you need in learning any language is the skill of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And of course, there are the passive skills, where you're just listening and reading. The active skills is speaking and writing. The active skills are more challenging than the passive skills, but you need to work on these skills in order to have success in the language. And you need to work on all of them. And the final map that you need is strategies and tactics. Strategies and tactics. Very, very important. In order to win a battle, you need to have strategies, methods, or ways to get success. And you need to have these language learning strategies to help you. So some of these strategies could be just, when is the best time that you are awake and active? So if you are a morning person, then you probably should study during the morning. But if you're a morning person, it's probably not a good idea to study late at night, because you'd be too sleepy. You don't have 100% part of you going. So that's just one example of a strategy. Sometimes strategies is listening to movies and watching movies, listening to the radio even while you're washing the dishes. So in passive way of learning language, and also using active ways of learning. Maybe joining a club, a soccer club, a photography club, an art club, something that you're interested in, and meeting other people in learning that language. You'll be able to use these strategies and these tactics to help you with your language learning journey. So I hope this analogy will help you. And remember, language is more than just grammar and books. You got to get out in the real world, and that way you will get success. And of course, in your language learning journey, you need to have MAPS: motivation, attitude, perseverance, skills, strategies, and tactics. Okay, I wish you all the best. Keep going there. Bye for now.